Ladies and gentlemen, we are back for not many more races, actually. We're nearing the end of the tournament. It is a sad time. We are closely closing into the end point, but still a few races to go. Welcome, everyone. My name is Spyron. I will be your host today, and I'm joined once again by the fabulous Chuck Nicey. Chuck, how are you doing today?
I'm feeling a little bittersweet because we're in for a great race today, but it's also the last of, I think, 5 more races until the end of this tournament. So
Yeah,
it's going to be sad to see some of these racers go, even though we might have some more events lined up in the future.
yeah, for sure. I think this is, yeah, like you say, the sad point now because every person we watch now has the chance of being eliminated and gone from the tournament, which is a very sad time because we don't want anyone to lose, really. But that is how tournaments work, sadly. You do have to have losers. And speaking of runners, then, guys, first up, we have an excellent race on our hands today. It is Sotalia versus Zojalix. Now, both runners will be playing on emulator. Sotalia coming in potentially with a bit of advantage, I would say, being the more tenured runner in terms of, I think, just raw skill, I think one could say. Coming in at the number 1 seed, running, again, we've talked about it plenty of times, exclusively a PlayStation runner. Holds 1 world record, loves Bugle Basement for whatever reason. But Sotalia, I think, interestingly, not many people expected him to be in the losers bracket as early as he was. I think many people would have expected him to have been knocked out a little bit further in, but Nilo coming in and giving Sotalia a run for his money. Sotalia having a bit of an unlucky time on the catch venom level, which I think is the main reason he fell behind in that race. But all to play for today, and I'm sure he's hoping not to make the same mistake. But Chuck, talk to me about Zoe and what you think of his chances in this race.
I've said it before and I'll say it again. Zoe's improvement since the start of this tournament has been fantastic. We've seen him jump from, I believe, sub 40 levels of times, and then taking on some of these new strats that have been found since he last regularly ran this category, and has been internalizing them and using them to his advantage, not just helping him seal victory against some of his opponents in this tournament, but also securing PBs here and there to upload to the actual speedruns.com leaderboard, which has done wonders to help move him up the ladder.
Yeah, it's been really cool to see a lot of people's progression in this race, but especially Zojalix, who's someone who's a runner in many different games as well. If you're not familiar with his speedrunning career, runs a lot of different things that aren't just Spider-Man. In fact, probably runs Spider-Man potentially the least of most of the games that he runs nowadays. But he's still in this tournament and he's still giving everyone a good run for the money, and he's hoping to give Sotalia a good run for his money today as well. So we shall see. In the meantime, ladies and gentlemen, predictions are live. If you do want to bet your channel points on who you think will win, please do so now. You've got a couple of minutes before that time's out. But I think in the meantime, we might as well just kind of crack straight on. Let's go check in with our runners as we see that they are, it looks like, both ready to go. So we'll just do a final quick ready check before we get in. But otherwise, yeah, I'm looking forward to this one, and I'm hoping we get a pretty competitive race all the way through.
No, I agree for sure. And at least for the subway portion, we'll at least get a little bit of extra entertainment as Chicken Little speedrun apparently is playing from Sodalier's screen. So we'll be sure to see that. But here we go. Our race has started.
Indeed, yeah, both runners underway. We're pretty much at the same time as well, so that's always exciting. And yeah, if you feel like you've seen enough Spider-Man for one day, you can just watch a bit of Chicken Little. I think that's quite interesting, actually. It's not a bad idea. So this is where we can potentially already get a deviation in runs, and it looks like we will do, as Zojalix going for the slightly slower but less risky method of climbing around these buildings here, with Sotalia going for the swing cancelling, which, of course, he's very good at. And there he is, in at a 32. Sotalia making it look easy. Zojalix, but not too far behind. At a 34 finishing this level, so already slight difference in time just because Sotalia used the faster method, but obviously it's still going to be very competitive. And I think the most interesting thing potentially at the start of this race will be this this bank level. Now, a lot of people have had a bit of trouble on this bank level. I think this has caught out a few runners unintentionally when it comes to entering this bank and then getting out of bounds, first of all. So we'll see if either runner does have trouble with this.
Indeed. I mean, we take a look at Tunnel Crawl, we take a look at Symbiotes Infest, we take a look at Waterfront Warehouse, and we think those are going to be the killers. I think Hostage Situation has messed up more runs than any of those tricks on their own, I would say.
Yeah, I think you're probably not wrong. It looks like Zojulix is having a bit of trouble initially, getting out of bounds. Does manage it now, though, of course. That is good. Zojulix now making his way to the rest of the hostages. In the meantime, Sotalia, on his way to the end of the level, he had no trouble getting out of bounds. Just needs to pick up those final hostages. They can be a bit tricky sometimes. Does look like he has done so, and will make his way down the elevator now, or up the elevator. Do you know, actually, do you reckon they go up that elevator or down that elevator? I've never actually thought about which way they actually go. Oh, he says going down. He says going down. I should just listen, shouldn't I?
That's true. I'd say he's going down, because if he's dropping from a sort of skylight down into that first level, it only makes sense that he would only need to go lower to get to that bomb.
That makes sense. As soon as you think about it for more than 2 seconds, it makes perfect sense. So you're absolutely right. Well, there we go. Mystery solved. Thank you, everyone, for solving that for me. Well, I guess we shouldn't. There's plenty of logical arguments you can make in this game as to why things happen. Questioning the elevator probably wasn't one of them. Probably didn't need to waste my time really thinking about that one, but we'll see, as now both runners throwing the bomb. Zojulix having a bit of a better time throwing the bomb in, gets a 41. Very nice. Totally a bit slower, actually hitting the metal detector on the way through, which slowed him down slightly, and so Zojulix pulling ahead very slightly here.
Right, Soda managed to throw that bomb right against the wall instead of towards the metal detector on the first throw. Having the course correct cost him a solid, 7 seconds, versus Zoe, giving Zoe the time he needed to catch right up, and now he's ahead, ever so slightly.
Yeah, it's really, really close so far. Again, going into this, oh my god, as soon as I say anything, Zojulix getting shot by the... I don't know who these guys. They're just random thugs on a roof. I don't know why they're particularly here.
I call them Denny's.
Denny's.
They're all called Denny, just knocking down Spider-Man. We got Denny's on this level. We got Denny's in the police chase for sure. Some symbiotes can most certainly be Denny's. Even the lizards can be Denny's sometimes. And that can really cost you a bit of time when you're knocked straight out of the air by a Denny.
Absolutely.
That's for sure.
And it seems like Zoe is suffering at the fate of the Denny's at the minute. He's now behind very slightly. But this could be where it all comes down to a bit of luck in the hands of J. Jonah Jameson. Sotalia going for the one cycle and doesn't manage it, actually. Wow.
Yes, he misses the combo, or at least he goes too quickly with the drop kick, causing Spider-Man to have that little stumbling animation, which caused him. And Zoe gets it as well, putting them right back in the middle ground. So we're pretty much back where we started. A bad bit of luck for both of our runners, but that is going to serve Soda more than Zoe.
For sure, yeah. And I don't know if it was just like the positioning of him. I feel like Scorpion took a while to get through the door in the cutscene for Sotalia. I think Zojulix maybe pulling back time just a little bit, just because the Scorpion was in a better position to be able to go through the door. I'm not too sure, but either way, Zojulix slightly behind, but not too far behind at this point. And again, these levels we've talked about it plenty of times, all just down to movement until we get to scale the girders and who has the better movement.
Yes, absolutely, and it's also going to depend on some of the bad luck of some of the Denny's that might be here in these levels as well. But you're right, scale the girders is probably going to be our first wide margin, especially since Zoe has so far not managed to get the scale the girders Spiderfly, if I'm correct, or at least has not done it so very often. So if he decides not to go for this time, that could be a 10-second or more lead that Soda continues to gain on him if Soda hits that flying spider.
For sure. Sotalia trying to inch out those seconds where he can. You'll notice that he's doing the zip along the kind of balcony there to make sure you get crawling faster up the wall as opposed to crawling the entire way like vertically across that balcony. So saving time where he can, making time where he can for himself. Always good to use that to your advantage in these early levels where there's less risk, I guess, if you're good at these little movement tricks, just to make sure that any tricks that do go wrong or anything that does go unfortunate, any bad luck that you have, that time can be made up.
Absolutely. Now Soda getting some good movement here across that sign. Getting those fast zips against the building and quick climbs up. Let's see if he can get through the windows before the rocket goes in, and he does. I do love that little nuance of speedrunning where you're just so fast that you go past some of the scripted events, making for some wild shenanigans.
Indeed. It's always fun. Totally getting stuck to the little girder at the end there, but doesn't do him any danger. We'll swing towards now the larger girder, and scaling that girder will be his next mission, or potentially flying past it. We shall see, as it looks like will steady himself for the flying spider trick, lining himself up. We'll see if he nails it. If not, this will give Zojulik some time to catch back up, but he looks like he's in. And
there it
complete.
is. Fantastic stuff. Now let's see if Zoe can follow suit. A full level behind here at the moment.
Okay, it looks like
No,
actually
he's
not
going for
opting.
old strat. I was
Okay.
right.
Yeah, so
There it is.
opting for the older strat, opting for the potentially safer strat in his mind to be able to make sure he completes this level without any delays. We'll manage to get to the cutscene. There we go, and we'll swing to the end. And so some more time lost there for Zoe just because of Sotalia hitting that trick first time, but again, still plenty of time for him to catch up, still plenty of opportunities for him to catch up, as well as Sotalia now makes his way to the Rhino fight. Now, place your bets on whether or not he's going to go for the combo strat or the web dome strat. Sotalia, I think, I'm more a fan of the combo strat more often than not. We shall see.
Do we
There we
have
go,
any
yep.
definitive statistics of which is faster, web dome or combo?
As far as I'm aware, and I could be completely wrong, and it could be another elevator moment, but as far as I'm aware, if you do the perfect web domes, that is, I believe, faster. If you get inside him, like the optimal kind of like deepness, I guess, that will be faster than doing the web gloves and combo trick. But I don't think it's by too much, especially if you get like a perfect combo as well. It won't be too much difference in time. But I do think web dome does beat it out ever so slightly.
But the other thing to consider, of course, is where your web cartridge count is after you do a pure web dome strategy. Zoe going down 4 or 5 cartridges with that fight alone, having to get them back somewhere.
For sure. But I think as a result of Sotalia's Rhino going a bit haywire, he tried the combo, didn't work out, and then went straight for the web domes. But even those web domes weren't perfect just because he was outside of Rhino and casting them. It looks like Zoe's kind of pulled it back a little bit, and he's starting this level not too far behind Sotalia now. So Sotalia, you think, probably sweating on this level a little bit, I'm sure, as this was the almost the decider straight away for what lost him the race against Nilo, at least initially. But we can't obviously discount out Nilo's incredible run that he had. He got a 29, a low 29 on this run against Sotalia. So even if Sotalia had managed to get through this, I'm not sure how close it would have been if Sotalia would have managed to win in the end. But Sotalia, yeah, going to make his way through this cutscene, as is Zojulik now. And we'll see, hopefully now he's learnt his lesson as he makes his way towards the second half and the end of this level.
Now remind me, the last time that we saw Soda take care of this level was the mistake on the first or second half of the level?
It was on the second half. So it was when he got to the end of this section here, the end of this swing of these buildings, and he climbed up into the cutscene too early with Venom being too far behind. I don't think he's going to have that problem this time. It looks like he's quite low on the building, so we'll need to climb up a little bit, and yeah, plenty of time to catch up to the Venom there. So not a problem this time, but it was right at the end. Yeah, it was a little too fast climbing into that cutscene, which is a shame that the distance kind of tracker's still running in the cutscene. A bit unfortunate, but there you go. I guess that is what the developers decided. I guess they didn't really predict that people would be outrunning Venom. This is Catch Venom after all, not Venom Catch You.
Right. Couldn't be me. That's for sure.
Yeah.
But Zoe noticing a little bit of hand strain as he works his way through this race. Even if he doesn't win, there may be the small blessing that maybe he can give his hands a break uh, if he gets knocked out of the tournament. Although, knowing the fact that he also does plenty of other games as far as speedrunning is concerned, I think that uh, that break on his hands may not be as restful as one may think.
Indeed. I don't know if anyone was aware, but I believe Zojalix was actually competing in a little speedrunning event. Like it was like the Minnesota like West or something. I can't remember exactly what it was, but he was doing some Kingdom Hearts live streamy runs and races on something to raise money for some charity. So very nice. Shout out to Zojalix for that. I'm sure he can tell you all about that a little bit later if you want to ask him. But yeah, Zo, very tenured in plenty of games. I'm sure, despite him having his wrist issues that he is having, won't let that stop him if it does mean winning this race today. So we'll see. He's still slightly behind Sotelier. He's done very well to get this far. Sotelier, in the time that he has done so far, did swing under the pipes for extra speed, whereas Zo is opting to go over the pipes, apart from this last one, which will swing under. There we go.
And let's see if Soda can get the God Pipes this time around.
I'm sorry, guys. Am I late for the
This
party?
one doesn't get too many runners, but even our most seasoned ones have fallen victim to swinging too low
Oh,
and getting caught with a demigod pipe. Just as we see here with Soda. Of course, I had to say something about it.
of course.
Let's see if Zoe can handle that a little bit quicker.
Yeah, and now one thing that I did want to mention, I don't know if anyone has seen Ink's most recent PC run, where again he broke the sub 24 mark, is now 23 something on PC, which is just an absolutely incredible achievement. His pipes, he swings to, oh gosh, okay, hold on. Okay, so he's fine. He swings a slightly different route than anyone I've ever seen before, where he swings to the first pipe and then to the right of the first pipe and kind of skips like the two pipes that you normally swing to, those first, like the second and third pipe. I'm not sure how he does that, but he does, and I don't know if it can be applied on PlayStation. I assume it would be, but a slightly faster pipes than I've ever seen before someone do. So just thought bring that up because it's an interesting one to go look back on if people haven't seen that run.
I mean, other than a few notable exceptions, the PC and PlayStation versions of this game have a lot of the same tech. So it would not surprise me if that strategy you mentioned would be possible on PlayStation for sure. I know, but that's probably a very tight execution to do,
Oh, you gotta
especially
think,
if you don't
yeah.
want to fall too far.
No, yeah.
Fall too far.
The PlayStation especially notable for its input lag, especially, gosh, if any of you have only run PlayStation and can ever give the PC or even the Dreamcast version, if you can't get the PC version working to go, and just the difference between pressing the buttons and it actually doing something instantly as opposed to the slight delay that you have on PlayStation, it is crazy actually how much of a difference it makes. So I imagine, yeah, PC is just, yeah, it's the runners on there are built different. It's true.
No, for sure. I mean, we've seen in the Discord some of the PC folks coming into the PlayStation scene for this tournament and being like, I didn't know.
Yeah, I hate this. What are you doing? Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's the PlayStation. I think obviously we all know the PlayStation is the superior version purely because of the existence of the L2 button, and I will hear no other arguments. But yeah, PC, do you know what? It's pretty good. I will give it to the PC runners. You know what? It is pretty good.
I'd love to give that one a try sometime, especially with some of the different mods that are available for that version of the game. But I don't know. I just want to see some of that stuff just get applied to the PlayStation version. There's just too much nostalgia there to ignore.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Well,
But we
yes.
are all done with the subway, at least on Soda's side. Zoe getting ready to finish it up on his side as well. So we can look forward to a nice return to the action. Let's see if Soda can get past the gate. Oh, landed a little high, but still in a good spot to set up for the skip of the gate.
Yeah, through first time there, not too bad. There's a little trick. I like that. I don't see anyone else do that. There is, for some reason, a little gap there where you can just fall in the water and it doesn't kill you, which is nice on PlayStation because you can't do that anywhere else. Because as soon as you touch the water, you just die. But that's fun that you can do that on that level. I've never seen anyone else do that, actually, so fair play, totally. Yeah, it was quite far over to the left there. I wasn't sure what he was going to try and do, but he's through the gate first time. He's through hidden switches very quickly as well. Will make his way to tunnel crawl. In the meantime, Zojelich now tackling the gate, trying to line up. Ooh, I was nearly actually through on that swing. I think that was quite a good lineup, but unfortunately just hitting the door and the wall. Now we'll try and sneak his way through. Not quite there the
Might be a
first
little
try.
bit close to the gate to actually hit that trigger, and he needs to hurry up because those lizards, depending on where he stands, are going to catch up and start spitting acid at him.
For sure. I think he's through there. Yeah, brilliant.
There
He's
we
through.
are.
Okay, and we'll make his way down. Sotoli, in the meantime, has had a very nice tunnel crawl, has made his way to the end now, and I'm sure we'll be opting to employ this tunnel crawl skip now. Here we go, swinging around to, oh gosh, the corner that we've indicated that seems to be the best spot to line this trick up is up, and he's flying up the wall. He's down, and he's in position, and he's through. Excellently executed from Sotalia. He is flying.
Amazing stuff. He certainly was flying, that's for sure.
Yeah, literally, yeah.
Let's see. I believe Zoe has taken on the spider fly for tunnel crawl in particular. I wonder if he'll do the same here for this run. He's going to need to, that's for sure, especially if he gets held up here in the tunnel itself.
Oh,
with the time spent.
In the meantime, executing a very excellent fall through the Venom puzzle, through those doors very, very quick, and will make his way now onto Lizard Maze. We'll see if the Zips do him well. In the meantime, though, yep, Zoe making his way now to the end of Tunnel Crawl. I know he's been practicing this one a little bit, so we'll see if the practice has paid off. Slightly
a little to the left, but let's see it.
It is locked in. Oh, but attached to the wall. Okay, we'll attempt it again.
Now he's lined up a little more traditionally.
Oh, wow, doesn't even get the swing at all. Okay. Right, and going for one more attempt, potentially. I don't know how long he'll keep committing to this. We shall see. Okay, he's locked in now.
Zoe's been known to commit to doing skips perhaps a bit longer than most other runners would, which has served him in that he's ended up making those skips, but also has hurt him a bit because he can end up wasting a lot of time versus just going through with the no skip strat once he fails once or twice.
Yeah, for sure. I think at a certain point, I guess it's more optimal to have just started the no skips route as opposed to trying to continue on with the tunnel crawl skip there. Probably would have been more optimal to start maybe after the second time not doing it. But at least he does get it and he isn't sat there for too long. In the meantime, Sotalier is on Venom 2, gets a nice 3 combo, and will take him out very, very easily. We'll move on now to kind of the last third of the game, as he's now in the Bugle with all the symbiotes.
Indeed, which means we're going to see another fantastic skip, hopefully. The Symbiotes Infest Bugle skip. There he goes right against the corner, and it looks like he's lost the symbiotes, so no symbiotes attacking him along the way. He's underneath, he's up in the hallway, he's looking very nice. And Zoe lining things up for the Lizard Maze skip. Looks like he gets it, had to adjust himself a little bit, but he's all good.
Nice, gets the zip to the roof.
Very nice, indeed.
And he's
this
through.
Part of the race, indeed. This part of the race is always hard to commentate because there's so many skips happening at once. It's hard to tell who we want to focus on. For example, Soda getting a very nice regular elevator descent, so to speak, and heading on to stop the presses. And then, of course, Zoe, let's see what kind of luck he gets with the second Venom fight. It's all very exciting, and it's hard to keep your focus on one uh just one racer, especially when that one racer does have an entirely separate game being
Oh,
broadcast
yeah.
on his screen.
Now, what you just saw there from Sotalia was if you click X too fast there and fall off as soon as you get through the wall, you won't actually be able to push yourself close enough to be able to hit through the to the end of level trigger. So what he did, very, very excellently executed, was zipped up to make sure he got that extra distance towards the end of the level. And as I speak, he's had some bad luck. He has swung back inbounds during the out of bounds jump for Bugle Basement, but he's going for the backup. Let's see if he
Indeed,
can nail this.
he's gonna have to take out that symbiote because he got back in bounds just short enough
Oh, and he's not
that
done it.
that they spawn. And yes, he is going to be stuck doing the no skips version of that. Looks like Zoe got a couple of Denny symbiotes on his tail, but he's getting ready to
Ooh,
skip. He's in
he's
the
through
hallway,
there?
but I don't think he
Ooh,
did
just.
reload it. Fantastic.
Yeah, just about crosses the threshold to get the deloading to happen. We'll make his way then to the end of that level, and we'll fall into the elevator now. So with this, in theory, we can get a bit of a catch-up from Zoe in time slightly, as long as everything else is well executed. And if he can execute Bugle Basement better than Sotalia did, then there's a bit of time here. But if Sotalia continues on this pace, it will still be a very, very good run for him and a very well-earned victory, I am sure. So we'll see if Sotalia continues. There's not many things really that can go wrong for him now. There's only realistically Warehouse, and if anything untoward goes wrong in stopping the fog. We've never seen that happen before, and we never will again, I'm sure.
Indeed. Who couldn't be me? Who
Yeah.
would crash in the middle
Oh,
of stopping the fog?
Honestly. Crazy thing to happen.
Uh, but you're right. There's very few things that could go wrong from here on out, but that doesn't mean we should count out Zoe yet. There's always a chance that something could go very wrong for Soda. It's just we have to recognize that Soda is a very seasoned runner who is very talented with how he handles the any percent.
Indeed.
So caught up on the wall a little bit.
Oh,
and
gosh. Wow, the textures of the wall doing him dirty there, and whatever that wall was that was stuck out there, that just really, yeah, normally the lineup there for the reason he was doing that, for anyone who isn't aware, so the reason you normally use that wall is to kind of visually see when the spider sense should go off once you pass a certain point in that wall, be able to then know when to turn around and zip back, and he just kind of got caught on a bit of wall, which is really unfortunate, and so we'll have to go through this no skips, just as Sotalia did. Not managing to get the cutscene skip either. In the meantime, Sotalia, a very excellently executed waterfront warehouse, and he's making his way now across the laser-filled halls towards the end of the game. So it looks like, unless, yeah, anything really untoward happens now with Sotalia, he has got this race in the bag, and this is his race to lose right now.
absolutely. The one thing we can hope on to keep this race a little bit closer is for Zoe to get that one cycle off, who he is one of the few racers that usually gets that strat in the bag for sure. So I wouldn't count him out to miss the one cycle lock too easily.
Yeah, we'll see now. It
And
looks like Sotalia opting to forgo the web cartridge initially, but will, I think, go back to it to, yep, go for the C route. Brings his way over there. And we'll go for the double web balls. Double web balls again. And one more to complete it. Okay, very nicely executed. No crashes there. Sotalia will continue on to Dr. Octopus. And in the meantime, Zojalix taking down Mysterio will make his way to Waterfront Warehouse as well.
indeed, Zoe having a little bit of trouble with Mysterio there. It's not the first time that's happened. He might be feeling a little bit of pressure from some of those missed skips, but he's still got a few more to go. And here's hoping he'll be able to nail them just fine.
Okay, let's see. Lining it up. Going for the targeting mode. But actually, oh, it aims a bit too high and ends up above the barrel. And he's looking... Okay, here we go. This is potentially a backup strat that we've not seen anyone employ as of yet. I think aiming a bit too high. I'm not sure why he's aiming so high. Try and get through this wall. Needs to aim a bit lower to not appear above. Again, just aiming too high. I'm not sure what he is trying to do, but unfortunate there. It looks like he is going to opt for the no skips route then as a result. Yeah, going back to get the other ones.
That's definitely going to put the nail in the coffin for Zoe's chances of catching up in this race, and that is heartbreaking to see, but it just honestly goes to show how ruthless this run can be, especially if you're going for a PB.
Yeah, for sure. And Sotalia, in the meantime, we do see hits the one cycle, of course. Those looks now actually opting to jump into the void. And after all that...
he misses it.
He misses it as well. That's so unfortunate. But I guess, at the very least, he'll get another chance at this. To redeem himself after the first go-around not going so well. Oh, and actually Sotalia on the other screen. Trying to go for the fast...
He misses the window for that cycle of keeping Carnage in the bubble. So after taking a nice little lump from Carnage himself, he's gonna have to go with the old strats. Zoe getting ready to knock over his webcam as he misses the trigger for the waterfront warehouse skip again.
Yeah, he can't believe it. He can't believe it, honestly.
It's insane. He has to hit this at this point. Going for no skips is just going to take too long, to be honest. So
yeah, I think
he's in an unfortunate position. Hopefully, he's got himself lined up, and there he is.
Yeah, I think just a little too far to the left on those first two occasions, a bit close to those fans than he wanted to be, which is why he didn't quite hit the trigger. But at least is now in the end game towards the last couple of levels. But yeah, Sotalia closing this race out will finish, I believe, at around the 30 mark, looking at his time based on where he is at the minute. So a very, very good race, a good redemption from Sotalia to bring it back after his unfortunate run with Nilo. Brought it back with very little mistakes in this one. Very, very little mistakes. And so I'm sure he'll be very pleased to have won this one and be moving on to face the winner of Monch versus Willy Fetti, which is coming up in about an hour and a half from now, it looks like. So we'll finish with plenty of time to go. I'm not sure if we're going to potentially be doing something in that little hour break or if the stream will get paused for a second. I think some people potentially looking to do maybe a little no skips exhibition race potentially on the cards. So keep an eye out for that. We might not be just turning off the stream and having a big gap in between. So keep an eye out for that for those interested. In the meantime, let's have a see if Zojelix will employ the final skip of the game. It looks like he is picking up the web cartridge. Will first make his way to the security control button there. We'll swing which way is he going to go. He's going to go left. Going to B. Let's see if he does this. Well, 1, 2, and one more web zip should do it. 3, and he's through.
Indeed. It looks like both of them got through with no crashes. Definitely tell that they're not running the Japanese version of Spider-Man.
It would seem so. It would seem so.
But on a serious note, as Soda wraps this up, getting a fantastic sub 30 time,
damn,
it really feels like he was out on a mission of vengeance against his own performance last time, nailing a solid sub 30 time. Not perfect, but definitely one of the strongest performances we've had in this entire tournament, for sure.
Absolutely. That is his new best race time, as far as I'm aware. 29.52. So, very well played for him. I'm sure he will be very happy with that coming into the losers semis. Again, up against the winner of either Monch or Fetti, which will, again, find the winner of that tonight. He will find out his opponent tonight, which is very exciting. Let's see now. Zojelix hoping for a bit of redemption to close out this run of his own. opting to aim for this one cycle. So let's see. Here we go. Get a laugh from Dr. Octopus. He locks in.
And bam.
Hey, very
He's
good.
got it.
Very nice. Very nice. Very well executed from Zojalix there. So at the very least, he can walk out of this race saying, do you know what? I did hit the one cycle Dr. Octopus, which not many people have done in a race. So fair play to him. He moves on and gets a very nice throw onto Carnage into the bubble. We'll go the regular web ball strat and we'll sit here nicely on top of actually where the web cartridges spawn, which is very handy. Even though he's got plenty actually, so it's not too much of a difference, but still handy all the way.
Absolutely. And man, despite how everything else went, I don't think you should ever beat yourself up over a run if you can hit that one cycle off, because that is something not a lot of our runners can do. We've sort of, you know, we've dissected what makes the one cycle work, and we've noticed a few more of our runners have started to get it now that we understand how that one cycle works a bit better. But even so, it is a really, really hard strat to hit, and anyone who hits it should be very proud of themselves, no matter how many times they've done it before.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Especially when, in the PlayStation case especially, it feels like the hardware can be working against you, whether it just wants to drop an input even though you're spamming those buttons, or whether the shield comes up maybe a frame or two earlier than you expect it to and you don't quite hit the final web dome or whatever it might be. It does feel like often the hardware is working against you in a lot of ways, but always nice to see when someone does manage to cleanly execute at one cycle.
Absolutely. I mean, other than the N64, the PlayStation has to be the version that probably runs this game the worst out of the different ports, just for the fact of its, its input lag, and I honestly believe some like the actual frames that get generated in this, just frames per second performance, it is not an easy task to pick up this platform when you've done the run on other platforms, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Especially with a lot of these silly nuances that come out of it, because this is the very first version of the game. Every other port of this game is a port of the PS1 version.
Very sad that they all seem to run slightly better, which is a shame. But there you go. Well, Chuck, I mean, you talked a little bit about the PC version earlier. If you were to run another version of this game coming from PlayStation, which one do you think you'd opt for?
I would not mind running the PC version, that's for sure, but I would try to map as much as I could to a controller. I just have a preference that when I'm playing 3D action games like Spider-Man or something like that, it has to be on a controller. I cannot for the life of me play a game like that on a keyboard and mouse.
I'm exactly the same. I play PC on controller as well, so you're not alone if you were to choose that route. Well, there we go. Zojalix finishing out at 34-27. GG's to him. He will unfortunately be the one on the way out of this tournament at this point, but a fantastic effort from him, despite the unfortunate mishaps that he had on some of these tricks. What a run he's had, yeah, and just as someone who's not really been running this game all that much in the meantime, and has only really come back to run this game as part of this tournament, just, yeah, great improvement we've seen from him over the course of this tournament, just with new skips that he's learnt, new things that he's learnt. And, yeah, I guess let's go ahead and speak to both runners. Now, both of you, welcome in. GG's to you both. I guess Zojalix, to start us off potentially then, talk us through a little bit about that race. Obviously, unfortunately, you are the one who will be eliminated as a result of the results of this match. But, I mean, a respectable run all the same, despite some of the hiccups that you had.
I was on the absolute run of my life until basement. I don't know what it exactly came out to, but I was feeling really, really good. I'm actually going to take a look right now because I am a little too curious as to what my pace was looking like. Uh,
You're gonna drive yourself mad looking at it. I just know. But
oh yeah, I mean, I was 30 seconds ahead going, or no, yeah, I was almost a minute ahead going out of elevator descent.
Wow.
that
So
that's a bit heartbreaking. But I did see in the chat that you gold splitted on the last 3 levels. Is that right?
yep, I golded Doc Ock. I golded Doc Ock, Carnage, and Monster Rock all at the very end of the run. And I think in total I had 4 gold splits.
That's fantastic. And honestly, taking into consideration your familiarity with Doc Ock one skips, gold splitting the Doc Ock fight has to hit pretty nice for you, huh?
It felt good, especially since I had a pretty similar history with Doc Ock One Cycle as Fetty. When I first started running the game back in 2018, I had never been able to hit One Cycle, hit it randomly on stage, and then like at a marathon, hit it for the first time ever, and then could not hit it again until prepping for this tournament consistently. Like I gotten it maybe 1 or 2 more times in years, and now I can hit it mostly consistent as long as my nerves don't get the best of me.
That's fantastic. Glad to hear that.
Yeah, brilliant stuff. I guess let's talk then to the winner of this race, Sotalia. Congratulations again on a fantastic time, a 29:52. That's your, it looks like, best race of the tournament so far. I guess talk to us a bit about your race and your feelings on this one.
Suck. No, like, the run for me was dead when I had this mishaps on bump, and so I started to feel a bit nervous. Also after Scorpion, that was a dumb mistake for me. Um, but then the worst part came into basement when I couldn't hit it correctly. But like I feel overall, it's a like the only thing that I can like highlight of this run is the Monster Rock race, because I golded by 3 seconds that.
Oh,
And
very nice.
That's wild.
yeah, so I know for a fact that Ferry had the fastest Monster Rock with a 217, I think. This Monster Rock was 214.
Oh, my days.
That came out of nowhere. Like that came out of nowhere. I can't believe that happened. So yeah, I'm happy with the run though. I'm happy with the run. I feel like my goal for this tournament was a sub 30. Here it is. So GG. So I need to rewatch the race after this, after being like more calm and stuff. But yeah.
But hey,
Brilliant.
congratulations on finishing with a time that's better than your time for Chicken Little, apparently. Congrats on that.
Yeah, well,
That's what matters.
yeah, exactly. Well, I guess as we kind of close out, I guess this little bit. So Slater, you're running against then the winner of our next race coming up in about an hour's time, Fetty or Monch. Do you have any personal favorites going into that match? Is there anything particularly you're looking out for that you're hoping to see in that race, or what are your thoughts kind of on this next upcoming race?
I don't want to jinx it. I just hope it's a very close race. Hope it is. In case of who I would want to face, I mean, I already faced Monch, so I feel like I will be interested in see how our race with Fetty goes. It's not that I wish Monch loses. No, it's not that. But yeah, I'm just interested. That's all. But I wish both of them the best of luck. And yeah, just gonna see the race to see what happens.
Excellent, and I believe you'll be coming back potentially to commentate that race if I'm correct with Jesse, which I believe he is back from wherever he was from work. I can see him in the chat. He's been lurking, so we should have a nice little commentary duo there for that upcoming race. Then finally, Zojalix, as we've said, unfortunately, this is your last run of this tournament. I guess talk to us a little bit about your kind of overall thoughts on how the tournament has gone, what we should expect from you kind of going forward, if there's anything you want to shout out, anything that you're doing at the minute that you want people to be aware of, and just some kind of closing thoughts, from yourself.
Yeah, overall, I'm very happy with my performance in this tournament. My PB being a high 37 going into this tournament, and now my PB being a mid 33, with huge possibility to be able to bring it down even more. Like I said, I was almost a minute ahead going into Bugle Basement, so I know that I could pull out a 32 and a 31. I think I don't know if I'm going to go for one more PB or not before I take a break. Part of me is kind of ready to just like stop for a while because this game can burn me out pretty quickly just because of how punishing of a speedrun it is. But I was planning on just kind of calling it there for my time in this game and maybe doing all comics or something. But with seeing the potential that I have for a run, I know that I have a decent possibility of getting a much, much better time. So this won't be the last of me in this game, but I'll definitely be needing a break. But the biggest thing I want to shout out for me right now is I will be doing I don't remember the exact date. I believe it is the first. It's one Tuesday in May. I will be doing a Marvel's Insomniac Spider-Man 2 New Game Plus speedrun for a marathon called ARPGME. It is a marathon that focuses on action RPGs, and that game qualifies. So I will be doing that. You'll be seeing me getting back into running that game probably next week. I have a couple of other things I'm still trying to recover from my last event that I was just at this last weekend. So yeah, you'll be seeing me there, and then I will be opening submissions for a marathon that I run here within the next couple of weeks, called Running for Reals, which is a marathon that supports the Real Hope Project. The Real Hope Project is an organization that creates videos of kids in foster care, and uses those videos to highlight the personality of kids in foster care, with the goal of matching kids in foster care with a family that will adopt them. And so their slogan is a forever home for every child. And I would definitely love to see some Spider-Man showcases in there. So if you guys come up with a pretty solid banger of a submission, feel free to throw it there. I'll post a link to submissions when they open in Discord, in the 2K Discord. So definitely would love to see some 2K love in that event.
Awesome stuff. That's
So,
really cool.
yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much, Zoe, for your time in this tournament. It's been a pleasure to watch you run. As someone, I imagine there's a lot of people in the chat who potentially first came across this game when they were speedrunning. I know Fetty's obviously one of them who, when first discovering this game as a speedrun, came across yourself and has seen you run this game many a time. So it's really cool to have had you here, to have come back to running this game for the tournament specifically, I guess. And yeah, hopefully, yeah, this won't be the last we see of you, but if it is in Spider-Man for the time being, I'm sure everyone will love watching whatever it is that you do next. So thank you very much, Zoe. Chuck, any kind of closing thoughts or questions from yourself?
I mean, both of you guys did a fantastic job. We just saw some unfortunate things here and there, but you both put a lot into your races today, and I think you should both be very proud of how you did. Uh, I'm sad to see you go, Zoe. I'm looking forward to that event you mentioned. I'd love to see that when that comes up. Uh, I think my final thought is, Soda, as far as who you're gonna face next, and maybe I missed it, uh, who are you most excited to face up against going forward?
Oh, so aside from the next match,
Right.
uh, I mean, so that's just between Spartan and Lilo, right? uh, I don't know. Like I already raced both. Um, I really want a rematch with Nilo because my poor performance the last time. Um, but hey, I also want another race with Spider-Man because it's really fun. You know. But yeah, I have no preference right now for any of those. But yeah.
Gotcha. Then
Mm.
that's fantastic. The only thing left for me is I will not be joining you guys for commentary on the next race coming up later this evening. So, if just in case we don't get those shout outs in later, let's get our first shout outs in for Crypto, who organized the tournament, of course. And as always, shout outs to Spyron, who is our principal tech for this tournament, always doing a fantastic job setting the layouts for these runs so that they look as great as they do, and they do look fantastic.
Oh, thank you very much. Well, on that note, let us wrap up for now. Like I said, potentially we may have something going on in this little hour break that we have before our next race coming up soon. So stick around, and we'll see what happens next. If the stream, I guess, goes off, you'll know that you've just got to come back in an hour. If it stays on for a little bit longer, be prepared for whatever might end up happening. So stay tuned for the time being, and we'll see you all very shortly.